I can tell you this 100%, that the only difference between the impact in your life when you leave here out of this school and you move on, the only difference that you can make that's going to improve your life is going to be the quality of the books you read and the quality of the people that you meet. People who are, in my experience, in the life that I currently enjoy, the reason I enjoy that is because I read a ton of books. I probably read maybe 4 books my entire school career. Maybe 4. At the end, when I left school, I probably read 4 a month the very first year I left school. Why? Because I became interested in something. I wanted to know something, so I started to read everything about it. And that was my path to become an expert. And it started off small. I didn't know anything, but I started to read a book, which led me to the next book, which led me to the next book, and then the next book. Then I started meeting people. And you meet this person who leads you to that person, who leads you to this person, who leads you to that person. And ultimately, it's going to be those 2 things that are going to impact the quality of your life. And understanding that that network is critical. But the only reason that those quality people, because you're going to leave here and go, yeah, man, all I got to do is surround myself with really good people. Yeah, it sounds easy, but it's really tough, because people are only going to invest in you if you have passion. If you don't have passion, you got nothing. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how pretty you are, how tall you are. That doesn't matter. Really, really talented people are only attracted to really passionate people about something. That's why they're so good. They're up there because they themselves are incredibly passionate about what they do. So for you to get in that circle, in that world, and give yourself just a little bit of an opportunity, you have to have passion. You can't say, hey, you know what, I think I'd like to have maybe a career in sport management. I want to become an agent. I want to become a physical trainer to the stars. I want to do whatever. You can want to do whatever you like, but if you don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with like 1,000 ideas that you have to write down, like in my time I had to write them down. Now you kick open the iPad and away you go, or your computer. If you don't have that, that's the definition of passion. It's when you wake up in the morning out of the sleep, you're like, wow, and you got ideas, and you write them all down, and you can't figure out what to do first, and you're trying to figure out what to do. That is the pathway to any type of excellence in sports. If you don't have passion, pack it in. No one cares how well you can file. No one cares about your computer skills. No one cares what you think. What they care about is how passionate you are, how interested you are. If you're not passionate, no one cares. Because it's the only differentiating feature that you have. There's a lot of really smart people, a ton of smart people. There's a ton of really skilled people in what it is that they do. But there's not a lot of passionate people, and they stand out like a sore thumb. And you can reach out and grab them, and that's how the hockey world really works. And now it's working tenfold because of innovation. People are innovating, and they need passion to innovate. People that are willing to ask more questions. So when you're working with the top athletes, we're going to shift gears here. How many of you guys are all in this exercise, is it exercise movement?
Science, sure.
Exercise science,
Yeah.
perfect. How many of you are here and that's your bag? Okay. The one thing that you need to understand about exercise science, from my perspective, is there's a couple of different components that are really critical, that are a little bit under the radar, that I actually built a career on. Okay? The first one is understanding athletic learning capacity in an athlete and what that actually is. You can teach someone a skill. You can have a group like this. I can take you all out in a ball field and we can go hit baseballs. Some of you, I'm going to be able to make an adjustment. I'm going to say, you know what? What's your name? Mark. I'm going to say, Mark, you know what? If you were to point your toe, like just right here, just like that, that would allow you to bring the bat through the hitting zone faster. And you would do that instantly. That makes you a high-level athlete. But then I say to you, I say, you know what? If you did the same thing, I think you would be really good. And you say, okay, that sounds great. And then I have to tell you once. Then I have to tell you twice. Then I have to tell you 3 times. And then I focus all my time with him. Because I don't care about you anymore. Because you lack what? Athletic learning capacity. Here's the problem. An elite athlete, I don't care who they are. The reason they're elite is because they understand their body. They have a feel. An absolute feel for their body. They know exactly how long their hand is. They can feel the distance between you and them. They understand that space. They can feel it. They can tell you when they're on this foot, they know exactly what that feels like. They can feel it. And when you talk to them and you're trying to teach them, when you ask them questions, they respond with feel. So I could say to somebody, we're going to try this skill. They can't do it. We're going to try it. They do it. How did it? I say something like, what do you think? And they say, feels weird. Perfect. Why is that perfect? When I hear someone say, oh, feels weird, what do I like about that? They feel it. It's a feeling. Another guy might say, what do you think? What do you see? What do I think about that? Ooh, red flag. Guy can't feel it. He needs it to interpret it to him. You need to say, show me again. Yeah, it's got to go here. Okay, show me again. Yeah, no, it's got to be right there. Did I do it? Did I do it? No, you didn't do it. Oh, it needs to be here? Yeah, show me again. That's someone who's visually trying to interpret something that has to go athletically in their body. So now, this picture right here, this is John Tavares, and we're looking at one of his reps. That is the common medium. So when I'm teaching you, I teach through sight. So I watch you, I see things, and then I pick something that I'm going to correct in you. So I'm doing this whole thing visually. You're going through it athletically through feel. So when I talk to you and I say, you know what, you're not bending your knees. The person then thinks back and they're trying to remember how it felt. It felt like I was bending my knees. I'm not sure. No, it's got to be done more. More. What the hell is that? What's more? What does more mean? Do it better. It doesn't mean anything. So what we use is we use the video as the common medium. And the common medium is when he's sitting down there, he's focused on how it feels and he wants to see what I see and interpret that into feel. So when he's watching the rep and I say, I don't like that rep because, he has to interpret that physically. No one's going to tell you that. But I'm telling you now, that is the secret to teaching an athlete, is to get the ones that understand their body, and if they don't understand their body, you need to teach them. I have a 9-year-old daughter who thinks that she'd like to play a little hockey, and maybe a couple of other sports, because she's 9. How do you think I talk to her? What do I try to make her aware of? How her body feels in space. Ella, how did that feel? Ooh, felt weird. Good, good, I like that. Oh, that felt good, perfect. We're in the sweet spot. Now the trick is, I need to take the player from, oh, it feels really weird, which means that's a skill that they don't have. Anytime a player, especially an NHL player, says it feels weird, that's music to my ears. Because it tells me then we're about to break a habit. We're about to change a habit. And then the player now has to interpret that feeling, because if it feels weird, they get a little hesitant at first. And they want to go to where it feels good. Well, when it feels good, that means you're defaulting back to your old habit, which is the habit I'm expressly trying to change. So we need to be able to figure out, when I say it needs to be here, I need proof. Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like? Daryl, you're telling me that's good? Yeah, well that felt awful to me. You know, that's what it's supposed to feel like. That's what it's supposed to feel like. Oh, okay, now I'm telling my brain that even that bad feeling is actually good. Because now we're on the right track. And then over time, a couple more reps, it starts to turn where the good feeling that I want, that was a little bit weird, starts to feel good. That's athletic change. An ability to influence learning capacity is just that. So my role is to interpret their feeling and match that with what it's supposed to look like from a proper movement perspective. Understood? So you're going to learn about the body. Oh, it's supposed to move here, it's supposed to move there. It's not supposed to be at this angle. This is how you propel yourself. That's great. It's important to know that. That's only half of it. You now have to communicate that to the athlete. If you can't communicate that to the athlete, pack it in. It's over.